This is Santacon, a yearly tradition where Santas flock to the New York City streets. Now originally, Santacon began in San Francisco in the mid-90s. It got its inspiration from a Danish activist theater group called Santacon. They gathered a group of Santas in the streets of Copenhagen that led to them handing out items from the shelves of a department store as presents before they were arrested. So anyways, back to 1994 in San Francisco. There was a local prankster group called the Cacophony Society. It stemmed from an anarchist group called the Suicide Club. Well, the Cacophony Society decided they would take a stance against the rampant consumerism that is often associated with the holidays and start an event called Santarchy. Now, this was only supposed to be a one-time event, but it occurred again the next year with over 100 participants and 3 arrests. As the years would go on, the event would get larger and larger, and further away from its initial anti-consumerism message, and it eventually would spread all over the world. This would lead to the Santacon that we know today. And with the rise of social media, the event has only gotten more popular. As my years living in New York City have gone by, I have experienced a good few Santacons. I even attended one back when I had just graduated and was living in my first New York City apartment. And every year there seems to be 2 camps, those who love Santacon and those who hate it. And I'm not quite sure which camp I land in. Well, there is one way to find out. But first, I need to make a couple changes. Wow, okay. If I was going to get to the bottom of this, I would need to look the part. And who wouldn't want to give their opinion to a clean-cut guy in a red velvet tuxedo? Or at least that's the thought behind this transformation. And then we were in Midtown, ready to find the pros and cons in Santacon.
You see a lot of random people that come from different places, and that's what's beautiful about it. You know, you meet, you know. And
he's the respectful one. I'm the disrespectful one. You heard?
You guys cancel out.
Exactly.
It's gonna be a good day. It's gonna be a thought dancing. It's gonna be a fucking Santa Claus dancing, Mrs. Claus dancing. It's gonna be lit.
How do you feel about Santacon?
It might be the worst day of the year in New York City.
What do you love about Santacon?
Been at Santacon, I think, for the past 10 years. You know, it's not all about drinking, what people think. It's really, I mean, some people do, but it's really about coming together and being joyful and like enjoying the holidays. Even if there's so much darkness out there, I think it is really important to keep some happiness and joy going.
Santacon is the best New York tradition I have seen in New York. It's where you meet with people and you have a good time, because it's one of those New York days where everyone is open for talking.
I think it's just a fun thing for mostly college students and people that just want to get high and that want to get drunk and mostly all that.
The best part of Santacon is like getting out of finals season and just like being able to like be in the Christmas spirit. I think the worst part of Santacon is probably the people. And it's a little cringy, but you just have to accept it.
I think it's a great place to network and maybe not network, but just meet new people and make new friends.
Network, give out some business cards.
Business cards, you know?
Make some money.
Get some good internships.
Get a job.
Get a job, exactly.
No, I've been doing this since 2016.
Oh, so you're like a Santacon vet. What brings you back every year?
We like it for the thrill. So, you know, he was the ginger man like the last time he came. You know, I did like, you know, the Santa thing, and even like this year I decided to be a teddy bear. So it's like every year something.
I had to switch it up this year.
There's a lot of past loves here. Watch out who you run into.
Watch out. The ops are on the streets today, so be careful.
Exactly.
How do you feel about Santacon?
Yeah, I mean, it gets rowdy, but it gets fun. But I don't know, this year is pretty mellow. I haven't seen any crazy bullshit go down. I wish I did. You know, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't be caught dead actually doing this shit. I think if you're into drinking and you're white, it makes sense. For sure, for sure.
Is this your first Santacon?
Absolutely.
It is?
Yeah.
Okay. Will you be coming back?
For sure.
No.
Okay.
Fuck this shit.
So,
have you seen it?
I smell divorce.
So all it does is fuel debauchery. While I support debauchery, we got to do it in controlled and efficient manners.
Okay, this is our second Santacon, but our first one, I don't even really remember, but this one, our friend just got arrested.
Our friend just got arrested.
Your friend, how has it impacted your day-to-day life?
Case in point. Yeah, it's more like a nuisance, right?
Have you ever done it?
I've never done it. I think if you're over 25 and you're participating in Santacon, you have to have a serious reevaluation with yourself.
This man, it's Saturday night.
Like, I'm not doing all that. I'm 27.
Exactly. You're in your 20s. You're going home on Saturday.
We're 30. We're fucking outperforming you easily, bro.
I'm going home and I'm playing video games.
He's a pussy. That's
good.
Yeah, I am.
Your first Santacon.
Of course.
And you're from New Zealand.
Yes.
And you're from Florida. And you met in a bar an hour ago, and you found love.
Exactly.
I actually love Santacon. I'm not dressed in a Santa outfit, but I would participate if my friends wanted to join me. At the end of the night, you don't really remember much, but it's always been a great time every time I've gone, which is why I would want to do it again.
Last year I was awful about it. Like I live on 13th between 3rd and 4th, full of a lot of people who do it. And coming down the elevator, I saw them and I made a really awful face, and they were like, really, like, oh man, you're just jealous. You're jealous that you can't do this anymore. I'm like, I'm really not jealous, but I did realize I was coming across as, such a grouch. So this year I'm like, you know what? It's a hard time. Everyone's having fun. So far I have not seen, anything too bad. Hopefully it won't get too bad. I generally think it's a nuisance for the neighborhood, but what can I tell you?
Your first Santacon.
Yeah.
All right. All right.
Not the last one.
I think we're all here for one reason and one reason only. I don't think that needs to be said and elaborated on. You know what reason I'm talking about?
No, what?
You heathens. You disgust me. Go home. Talk to your mother. Call them. It's okay. You don't need to do this. Please.
So I'm newly single and I need new love.
Gotta love Santacon. We're this. You want some of this?
Listen, guys, I've been drinking all day. To all the fans out there.
So now that it's all said and done, and I've spent the past day editing everything I shot yesterday, as well as looking back at some of my archives from living in New York to pull some of that original Santacon footage from 2017, I'm torn. I see the issues with Santacon. It evokes this extreme and raunchy behavior out of some people, but I also see the fun aspect to it, and how it does bring some joy and merriment, and it's honestly just a big party. And maybe it's because I was holding a camera, or just the very fact that I love talking to people and meeting new people, but yesterday I would say I enjoyed the experience. But thank you to anyone who was in this video. It was great to hear about your experience with the event, and I hope you enjoyed this video, those viewers watching it, and feel free to jump into the comments, weigh in on the topic, whether you love Santacon, you hate it, what you want to see from it. I don't know. I'm not an organizer, so but have fun in there. I'll keep an eye out. Or maybe I'll jump in as well, jump into the fray. Oh, and a final shout out to Max and Goob for operating my cameras, both the B-roll and the A-roll of me giving the interviews, as well as my barber AJ for letting me film him cut my hair. Anyways, it's been great. I don't have a sign off for YouTube yet. Put it on the to-do list. Thanks for coming by.